as the host country, how are we doing when it comes to environment auditing?
Thanks for inviting me. The subject is relatively new, really. Not only new to the Supreme Audit Institution, but also in the public, especially the strategic stakeholders. New in that we are used to doing things. Focus on what you want primarily, but the cause and the consequences, we hardly get to know until a disaster happens. But the Supreme Audit Institutions, in the Supreme Audit Institutions Standard number 12, entails the need for the Supreme Audit Institution to be of use. What contribution are you doing to the citizens? And primarily the in vogue subjects of today is environmental protection, and you cannot protect what you don't know. Well, here one would hasten to add that we are not environmentalist
actually that would be
experts.
one of the next questions I'm going to be asking you, because most of the time auditors general are actually expected to be just auditing the books of accounts for government institutions and not environment matters.
Indeed, that's true. I was telling the folks who came in today, the conventional way is looking at the vouchers, money, cash, etc. But broadly speaking, in the 21st century, the auditor of Supreme Audit Institution, the National Audit Office, needs to be aware of all what brings in money, all what takes money, and supposing we have to purify our water, which is so dirty, how much will you invest as compared to if that water was purified naturally by trees?
And so maybe just getting back to this main subject matter, we understand that UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, says that 60 to 90% of e-waste is actually illegally being traded and sent right here in Africa. But the question now of concern, which Joshua also alluded to, the fact that, we need to actually be prepared. Most of the time, environmental or natural disasters just get us unawares. So how then do you convince us that this conference that is going on for the next, let's say 5 days or so, is actually not going to be just a talking shop where actions are going to be taken when people go back to their homes? How convincing can you give us as far as this is concerned?
Not a talking shop, because you see, whatever we do at the Supreme Audit Institution, here we are talking about, you have countries attending: Burkina Faso, Botswana, Cameroon, Central Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon, Guinea, Conakry, Kenya, Liberia, Namibia, Niger, Democratic Republic of Congo, Senegal, South Africa, Uganda, Zimbabwe, and the host Rwanda. So these are Supreme Audit Institutions who really are expected to deliver by their countries. It cannot be a talking shop. We are very much mindful of expectations. You see, Africa has got enough problems. But if you add on environmental disasters caused by ourselves, sincerely, I think our budgets cannot sustain that, because it's a very expensive one. So we better prevent by observing the following about 5 things. 1, economically doing whatever we do, efficiently doing whatever we do, effectively doing whatever we do, and environmentally considered in whatever we do, in addition to the equity.
Right. But also, we've at least touched on this in the beginning of our conversation, that most auditor generals are known for just auditing the books of accounts for government institutions. So this thing of environmental audit might seem to be new to most auditor generals, and so capacity building issues are actually seen to be very vital at this stage. So how are you going to be dealing with this particular issue as you meet your peers?
Yes, indeed. The whole day, these countries, 18 of them, have spent the whole day on Monday, this Monday, just pumping in all the 12 hours almost in the training, which is not the first one, because the working group on environmental auditing came as far back as 2002. and we intensify training because it's a special area. You need to convince your stakeholders as to what the Supreme Audit Institution can contribute and to be and be seen to be.
Right.
For example, in the case of Rwanda, new as the subject may be, we published 5 reports just last year, in 1 year. Here you have management of wetlands protection. Here we are having to tell people that please be mindful of, yes, we eat beans and yams and all that what is grown there.
We need to be mindful of the environment.
But please, tomorrow, are you sure you will eat once and die tomorrow? You won't need more? Solid waste management, you know, the input-output analysis biologically, whatever, you reproduce some solid waste, industrial, the human, but to sustain life, you need to mind these solid waste. Liquid waste management, you know it, industrial, human, household, the consequences can be there. Right. The health care waste.
So all these things are things that you're looking into.
Then we are talking about environmental audit, you know, mindful of mining. We need all that money, okay, exporting minerals. But what do we leave here at home?
Right. Good question and tough one indeed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that we're going to be having this conversation more.